Hello friends and welcome back to Garza Scott class. Today we will be covering equivalent fractions. We're going to be discovering a few different strategies. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be using the models method. It's pretty simple to use, so don't even fret it. So let's go ahead and get started with the first fraction. My first fraction is 2/4 and 1/2. I am trying to determine if these two fractions are indeed equivalent. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, we need to make sure we're looking at our denominators. Those are the bottom parts of our fractions. We need to make sure that those fractions are in the correct order. We always want to start with the smallest denominator. In this case, our smallest denominator is a 2. Okay, so we have located our denominator. So we're going to go ahead and cut up our first fraction bar into halves. Okay. On our first fraction, we want to go ahead and it says 1/2, so we're going to go ahead and color 1/2. I unfortunately cannot color on my screen, but you can go ahead and do that on yours. I'm just going to go ahead and put some lines like this, just like that. Okay, now we need to look at our second fraction, the one with a larger denominator. What we want to do now is make sure that our fraction down here turns into 4 parts. The easiest way to do that is to create a second bar graph down here. Okay, and we're also going to cut that one in half. Now, if on the first bar we colored in 1/2, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the second bar. So I'm going to go ahead and color in a half. Now notice that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, which is what we're looking for. We're looking for 4 parts. So I'm going to go ahead and put that denominator down here because it matches. Now, if my numerator also matches, then we're good to go and these fractions are indeed equivalent. So I have 2 parts shaded in. So 2/4 is what I have in my model. Now, that does match my initial fraction, so these fractions are indeed equivalent. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Let's go ahead and do number 2. I have 1/3 and 3/6. My smallest denominator is the 3. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up my bar into 3 parts. That's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I need to have 6 parts because my second denominator requires 6 parts. So I'm going to go ahead and make a second bar underneath that one. Okay, and remember you have to cut it up into the same amount of parts as the one above, and also shade in the same amounts. Now notice how I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. That is my denominator. And we're going to go ahead and add our numerator. It's 2. Now our first fraction is 3/6. So we're going to go ahead and see if it matches. Now the top fraction says 3/6, and unfortunately we need 2/6. So this is not equivalent. So we're going to go ahead and leave it alone because this is not an equivalent fraction. Let's do one more example before we move on and you guys can work on your independent practice. So we have 2/3 and 4/6. Again, we choose the smallest denominator. We cut it up into 3 parts. Okay, our second denominator says we need to have 6 total parts, so let's go ahead and create that second bar graph. I'm sorry, not bar graph, fraction bar. Okay, and remember to shade in the same amount. I'm coloring in 1 and 2. Now notice how I have a total of 6, which was my target denominator, and my total for shaded parts is 4. So this does match, so it is equivalent. Alrighty, friends. So we're going to go ahead and stop here and go to your assignment. I'm going to upload a second video with your answers, and you can double check here if you had them correct. Alrighty, good luck. Bye.